makers who are trading off reductions in travel time for increases in fatalities. And then there's also the cancer cluster paper, the Davis paper. And so that one is the value of a statistical case of leukemia. So you should understand the reasoning or the logic behind his estimation technique, and also the logic behind what he's actually trying to estimate. So it's obviously very closely related to the VSL, but he's not actually estimating the VSL here because childhood leukemia is not basically doesn't guarantee death. So this is more about willingness to pay to avoid a case of leukemia rather than willingness to pay to avoid a specific probability of fatality. Okay, so that's basically it in terms of thinking about materials to be covered and what I would sort of focus on studying if I were you. Are there any other questions about coverage? Oh yeah, good point. So yeah, you should also understand the Coase theorem. So basically what conditions you need in order for it to hold. So you need to assign property rights, and you need to you need to allow free trade between parties after you assign property rights, and then and bargaining between parties after you assign property rights, and then also what it implies. So it implies that if those conditions are met, you should reach an efficient outcome, and then what the limitations are. So I know people had some problems on the problem set, I think, with the Coase theorem question that was on there, and so that was the one about the rancher and the farmer, and so the point of that problem was essentially that the Coase theorem implies that if you assign property rights and allow people to bargain, then you reach an efficient outcome. And the problem said, but they didn't end up building this fence that would have eliminated the externality. Therefore, the outcome was inefficient, and the Coase theorem failed. The thing was, when you actually if you sat down and did the calculation, you'd realize that not building the fence in that case is the efficient outcome because the cost of building the fence is actually greater than the cost of the lost crops. So no matter who has the property rights, at the end of the day, you're better off just allowing the crops to be lost and then compensating the party that has lost the crops. So if the farmer has property rights, then he demands compensation from the rancher. The rancher has the property rights. It's basically well, tough luck for the farmer, but Or what? These two, no. So there are links on the syllabus that should work if you're either anywhere on campus or if you go through the library proxy. It's more important to understand the, understand essentially the research design, understand how they are trying to estimate the effects that they're estimating and what the limitations of their estimates are. Then, you don't need to memorize specific numbers or anything from the study. So, if you go through the slides and you feel like you have a strong handle on the underlying logic or reasoning behind the numbers that they generate, then I would say that's sufficient. But if not, then no. It's definitely possible. Yeah, if you understand the so I would say yes, and I'm not. So I'm not. I wouldn't expect you to read I wouldn't expect you to read every word in all of the papers. I think. Let me put it through. So certainly, if you go through the slides and you feel like you have a really good understanding of how they're estimating the effects that get reported, then I would say you're 90% of the way there. I think the way in which looking at the papers is potentially useful is almost as a test of whether or not you understand what's going on. So if you go through the slides and you're yeah, I think I have a really good feel for the speed limits paper, and then you actually look in the paper and sort of look at the main results, main results tables and or the description of them, and then start finding I don't understand why they're making a big deal about this coefficient, or I don't really understand why what they're talking about here is important to the results or something. That would essentially be an indication that you didn't really understand the paper as well as you thought you had, and at that point then try to maybe read it more closely and or go back to the slides and sort of reevaluate. So I think that's the way that I would use them rather than just trying to read the paper from beginning to end, especially without having tried to understand it from my description first, because I think first of all, I think in many cases that would be kind of difficult given given the preparation you've had so far. And even if it did, even if you did eventually understand it, I think it would just sort of take a long time because in some cases they're kind of dense. So I think I have no comment on that. I'm not going to give you the exact answer. Well, you think I'm not going to. So from my perspective, I can't tell you whether or not I would ever give you the right answer, obviously. But at the same time, I want to preserve the option for people to be able to continue on with Part B if they can't answer Part A. So I would just say I would not overthink it one way or the other. If you think you got the right answer in Part A and it's different than in Part B, I wouldn't worry. Anti-supply Part B, I wouldn't worry about that. It's the same. I also wouldn't freak out about that and be oh, geez, there's no way to give me the right answer. Therefore, this must be wrong. I just wouldn't go down that road. No, no. So no, so I'm thinking of where you can't even start to, you're I don't even know how to set up this problem. So you just leave a blank, or you just write down some random number without doing any work or at least any work that's relevant to the problem. But if you have correctly or incorrectly, let me put it this way: if you do Part A, if you sort of set up Part A correctly and then make a mistake in your calculations or something, and then carry that mistake forward to Part B, I already will not penalize you a second time for that mistake. So yeah, so I would say I would not worry about that. The one case in which things maybe get weird is like if your answer is like just so far off that that it sort of gives qualitatively different implications. Like you say like, oh, there is no market failure here because like basically your answer is so far off that like you end up not finding a market failure or something like that. And but yeah, you can't you don't want to use the part B answer even if you like think you correctly solved part A. I mean, I don't know. So one option is I could basically dock you 1 point for using the supplied answer in part B if you've already solved. Well, regardless of like basically if you use the part B answer at all, like the like if you couldn't solve part A answer, if you use a value that I give you that in part B, maybe I would give you like 4 points out of 5 if you did it correctly instead of level 5 out of 5. But
if you get part A right, you get the answer part B, that changes that for people. The question would be not become different for people who do A and people who can't do A.
yeah, but the people remember like if you can't do A, you've lost a full 5 points. So like it's not going to you're not like people who completely fail at part A are not going to end up outscoring at least an expectation those people who do.
I'm not like worried about it. Just like personally making this easier. Like, if that answer makes me easier, we should choose for everyone to use that answer.
But it doesn't make. I mean, I'm choosing it specifically so that like I mean, it's not easier versus harder. Like they're just numbers, right? So the difficulty is setting up the problem right to begin with, and then you just have to plug in a specific number after you've set it up. And so whether you, I mean, I guess if you found some really weird number for part A, like 1057.73 or something like that, then yeah, that'll be harder to evaluate than like 600 or something like that. But you're supposed to generally be getting round numbers anyway, and calculators are allowed. So that's your question. Yeah. So you can use a calculator. That's basically calculator and pen and pencil. Those are like the only things you can use. And then also you don't need no scratch paper. So they're like you saw in the previous exams. There's plenty of space to write your answers, so you shouldn't need any scratch paper. Okay, well, so we're down to the last 5 minutes here. Do people have any like sort of specific questions about the exams?
So the question regarding Nevada and California on pollution, we talked about Nevada having a constant, like higher level pollution around LA Vegas Strip. And would that be an example of differences that because it's so constant there would be more?
Yeah. So let me just go straight to the. Oh, yeah. So you're talking about the one where it says you learned that Nevada has. So the question is from I guess the 2011 exam, and you're trying to estimate the effect of the California like special blend of gasoline on air pollution. You're using like Nevada basically as a control state, right? So the part you're talking about says you learned that Nevada has particularly bad air pollution because traffic is always backed up on the Vegas Strip. This is true every year. Is this going to cause bias in your difference estimate? And is it going to be important to get data on the traffic? So yeah, the correct answer is not going to cause bias because it's a factor that's fixed over time. So it is different for Nevada than for California, but it's constant over time for Nevada. It's not something that's like changing differentially over time for Nevada relative to California. No, so the clunkers one, there's a case where it would cause bias because what's happening is there's this program that's going to affect air pollution by removing all of the most polluting cars from the road. And so the program starts in 2000. This program starts in 2005, which I think is when the policy that we were hypothesizing turns on. So it's something that's basically changing for California and will affect air pollution, but is not changing for Nevada. So it's just like Nevada has not started a similar program. So that one can cause bias because it's something that's changing over time differentially for one of the states and not for the others. Are there any other questions about any of the practice rounds? I mean, I know the solutions are online, so hopefully in most cases the solutions make sense to you.
In level difficulty, would that be the same or harder?
I would say about the same. I think one of the practice ones was maybe a little bit long in terms of the amount of time it would probably take to answer it, and so I tried to maybe like shorten a little bit from that, but in general about the same. The exam itself is, I don't think the exam itself will be curved, just the overall like final grade in the course will be, but I would expect that after the curves are done, probably like usually A- and above is not 90%, usually it's like 80-something% or something like that, so there is usually some curve applied. Okay, well, I will see you guys on Monday then.